flee might be a strong word, but traditionally startups at a certain point in their life cycle haven't been able to get the funding that they need to get to that next stage, and so they go to Silicon Valley. Are you still seeing that?
Yeah, I don't think it's too strong a term, actually. I mean, we really are concerned about that flight, and sometimes it's the companies that we are most excited about that decide they need to go to the Valley because they can't get the network and the resources that they really need to go fast. And one of the myths that I think we're trying to bust up here about this region is that we've got, big company people, and our engineers do not want to start companies at the same numbers that they do in the Valley. And we think instead that they're just really smart, and so they want to do everything in an A-plus kind of way. And if they see an opportunity that they can only pursue in the Valley because they really want to be sure that they've got the capital to back their idea, then they're going to go do it in the Valley. And yet the lifestyle here is much, much better. So you see companies all the time not get formed because you've got a super strong engineer who would be an entrepreneur. They're working at Amazon, and they look at lifestyle versus ultimate desire to start a company, and they say, I'm going to stick with my great job where I get to build great product at Amazon rather than move to the Valley, be miserable, but start a great company.
So you're saying
we don't want that trade-off.
Some companies just don't, they're stopped before they start.
Yeah, no, it's a real impediment, I think, to what we could unleash here on the West Coast if we could make either the lifestyle better in the Bay Area, or we could make the startup funding environment better in Seattle. We'd have probably 2x the companies that we have today.
So at the current rate, is it possible for the next Amazon or the next Microsoft really to be founded here?
Absolutely. I mean, for one reason, it's getting cheaper and cheaper to found companies. I mean, the cloud itself has enabled companies to start on a much more sort of bootstrapped basis than they used to. You just don't have to buy all your own servers and do all of that kind of heavy lifting from a capital perspective that you used to. So there's absolutely nothing holding back companies from having sort of a customer-first, bootstrappy attitude. And there is enough VC here, and more increasingly. I mean, our firm and a few other firms have come out of the woodwork. A lot of Bay Area firms, I was on the phone this morning with a great one, are looking here more and more. But we just need to accelerate that because it's less about absolute dollars and more about signal. People need to believe the capital is there. So when we started the firm, we always talked about we want money chasing deals, not deals chasing money. And we're beginning to flip that dynamic in Seattle.
So let's talk about signal. How concerned are you that Amazon is opening its second headquarters elsewhere?
I think it's very concerning. I mean, we should be the place that every company wants to be. In fact, I think we are. I mean, we are seeing every company in the Bay Area open a satellite office here and increasingly grow this office faster than they grow their home office in the Bay Area. But the fact that Amazon in particular has made the choice to have another headquarters someplace else, I think is a real knock against the city. It's also a wake-up call. I was sort of first out of the gates on a quote of "It's never too late to say we're sorry," and that's definitely what
did
the message.
Did they say they're sorry?
I did. I said I was sorry.
Happening.
Yeah. No, I think there has been a lot of relationship building between the powers that be and Amazon, and I think all of that is going much better than it used to be going. But we do need to continue to work on that. This region needs to always be open for business, and we need to be sure that we're the very best place to start a company.
Is there something also, though, that big tech companies can do? I mean, certainly these tech companies are being blamed for rising housing prices and overcrowded transportation, and then not paying their fair share. I mean, wherever Amazon goes, it's going to get a huge set of state and local tax breaks. Like, is there something that these companies can be doing more to?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do their fair share.
Yeah, no, and I think we have an opportunity to really show the way and lead here as well. I mean, I think it was Reuters that called Seattle the Silicon Valley of saving lives, and that was based on the Gates Foundation, what Paul Allen does, a lot of our other major institutions here that are all about worldwide philanthropy. We probably are the philanthropic capital of the world if you actually look at dollars. But leaving that aside, I think what we're seeing now with our tech companies, and you just had Microsoft on the air very recently, I think right before me, we're seeing companies maturing and learning here. So we're seeing that social EQ develop. So Microsoft has gone from being a company that we all hated and was under all this antitrust pressure to really being one of the darlings of the industry in terms of being, foot forward in philanthropy and civic engagement, in helping disadvantaged communities, et cetera. Amazon with the $15 an hour minimum wage announcement yesterday, that's a huge step forward. I mean, the new Uber president president came from this area. You know, there's a lot of learnings here, I think, that are occurring that show that tech is ready to grow up and ready to take responsibility. And I think we're going to see that increasingly from Amazon as well as from every tech company here in the region.
So you're investing in AI, you're investing in machine learning.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about, and what's overhyped?
Yeah, interesting. I think what's overhyped a little bit is small companies' ability to add materially to the base AI, ML infrastructure. That really takes a big company in most instances. But what isn't overhyped is every company, when they start or when they're reinventing their own business, thinking about building AI first. So you look at the way we used to think about software as having this transformative effect on every industry. AI is now having that same transformative effect, and I think AI is increasingly going to replace software. Of course, it's software too, but it's going to replace software as the key competitive advantage. So if you look at Microsoft completely pivoting their products to AI ML, you look at Amazon tearing down their own operations and rebuilding them from the ground up on an AI ML foundation, that's really important. So it's looking at it like you would cloud or mobile or any other enabling technology and saying, how do I drive every bit of efficiency and better performance with this as my base?
There's been talk of an AI winter and this concern that some companies won't be able to deliver on the promise of AI, and also that there might just be limits to what AI is capable of. Are you concerned about that?
No, I'm not. I mean, it's early days still, for sure, but we're seeing very commercial products out in the market today. We've got a couple in our portfolio, Fin.ai and Stream, that are absolutely delivering with very baseline AI, super compelling results. Still takes a ton of work, and you have to have those smart data scientists who are not always easy to find. But if you have them, you can deliver a product that is markedly different for the end user and much cheaper for the company. And that's what, you know, really drives innovation.
I want to ask you about diversity in venture capital, in entrepreneurship. We've seen, you know, some great momentum in Silicon Valley, the formation of Allraise, this, you know, group of competing female venture capitalists getting together to try to get more women in VC and more women funded. But how much actual progress are you seeing?
Yeah, I think we have a very long way to go, and I really appreciate your work in this area too. I'm a huge fan of the work you've done and the reporting that you've done. There is a major impediment, and it's an impediment related to funding. So everyone who's a startup thinks about, I just got to get money from a venture capitalist. For a new venture fund to form, you need to get money from a foundation, a fund of funds, an institution of one kind or another, a pension fund, whatever. And those folks don't like to fund things that are new. They like to fund things that are proven because they're managing widows and orphans money, right? So to get new entrants into venture is very, very difficult, and that's what we've got to do to move the needle, because these small partnerships,
it's limited partners that need to step up.
It is, yes, we need to see, and you know, I think people like Melinda Gates have done a good job of really ringing that bell and pronouncing that to the world, but we still are not seeing very old, very conservative financial institutions move quickly enough to fund new venture capital firms that are founded by women, founded by underrepresented minorities, et cetera. And that's what will change things, because you can't add one woman to a 10-person partnership and expect that to move the needle, and particularly not one woman who's not even an investor to a 10-person partnership and expect that to move the needle. So we really need to see some venture firms, and we have some, but we need a lot more, that are founded by women and underrepresented minorities.
Absolutely.